yet done a vlog. So I am going off to the art gallery today and I'm going to be downtown in Vancouver. So I thought I would share that with you and bring you along. Hi everybody. So when I last checked in, I was taking you with me on Saturday to the art gallery and I got some footage there, but then realized that it's been several months since I've done a art vlog. And so that's what I wanted to continue with today. I have another little art gallery visit happening on Wednesday. I'm going to 3 galleries in Burnaby, the city that I live in. And so I thought I would give you a little update right now as to what's been going on in the studio these last 2 months, and then show you the gallery visits on Wednesday, and then that would kind of be the conclusion of this little vlog. So I can't really remember where my Virginia Woolf piece was the last time I showed it to you, but I'm going to turn the camera around and talk you through that piece and then show you the other piece I have in development right now. If you remember this piece, the last time I checked in with you, I was probably painting the gray between the rocks on the fence. And since then I have added all the lilacs along the fence, the gate, and the what is going to be the ivy that goes along the archway over the gate. So forgive me if it looks a little bit wonky here, but I do have it kind of pinned up in a non-straight way, so it's not going to look perfectly straight. Okay, so this is the embroidery that I did for lilacs along this fence, and then you can see the black, which is the gate and the archway that goes over the gate. And then the pieces up here are going to be covered with ivy. So that's like a base layer that I put down with some steam, which is basically a sticky material. You can stick it to the back of the fabric, stick it onto the layer of your fabric, and then iron it, and it adheres. And these are like the vines of the ivy, and I will do leaves after that. So that is the status right now of this piece, which I'm calling, you know, there's kind of a couple working titles, but Gardens at Fernham or Virginia's Garden, or I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to call it yet, but so what's left of this piece is adding in Virginia Woolf. So this is kind of my stand-in for her. Just drawn on paper. So she'll be standing there, and then there will be brimstone butterflies. So probably up here, in different versions. There'll be a larger one, so more in the foreground, and then some that are more in the distance. Yeah, so this piece is coming along. I mean, this is just the first layer of this piece, so this piece will also be quilted. So once all of the surface design has been done, surface additions are done, then the quilting will start for this one. And that will probably take me many months, but at least the top part will be finished. This is the other piece that I'm working on right now. This is going to be called Ruth's Garden, and Ruth was my great aunt. And so the whole point of a piece like this is kind of talking about memory. And what I did was I asked family members what flowers they remembered from my Aunt Ruth's garden, because that was kind of her claim to fame. And they told me. So what I remembered from her garden were gladiolas. So I've done those in yellow. My mom remembered peonies, so these are going to be peonies. My mom told me that my aunt's favorite flower was actually daylilies, so these are the daylilies. And there will be a whole set. There will be two other flowers, delphiniums and bleeding hearts, and those will be in the foreground of this one. And she had a white picket fence along the back of her garden, and so that's what these are. And I don't know why, but this peachy color just reminded me of her. So this piece is still working, where I'm just taking the paper off the backs of some of these before I glue them, I iron them down. And what I did was I assembled these petals over top of these pieces of the adhesive material, and then I stitched through them on the sewing machine, and then I have to rip out all this paper so that I can actually use the iron to heat set this and connect it down. There is going to be more paint put onto this. There'll be much more stitching on these peonies and layers of paint to make them look more peony-like. So yeah, this one is kind of what I've been working on in the studio when I'm here. Okay, so that's my studio check-in, and what I'm trying to do is just work away when I'm sitting in the evenings watching YouTube or watching Netflix. I stitch on the Virginia piece, and then when I actually get some, like, you know, real time in the studio and I can be in here, then I also work away on Ruth's garden. And this is my big goal. My big artistic goal for 2020 was to get these pieces finished. So these are two. I have 3 that are done, and I have one more very big one that will be going in this series. There's always been potential for another, but I don't want to drag this series too long, because I think I'm coming up to a place where I'm really ready to delve into the big solo show that has been building inside of me for many, many years. And I want to, yeah, that's the next step, I think. Once these pieces are accomplished, I'm going to move into those. So I think I really need to complete these pieces as close to the end of the year as possible. And yeah, I don't know how realistic that is for me right now, given the pace of my life. My day job, my part-time job, is very, very busy. Right now, it's not necessarily busy with running events, but it's really, really busy with planning stages. There's also a lot of shifting going on in the structure in terms of employees, and so that's really challenging, because trying to accomplish work and then also think about these big creative structural questions takes a lot of my creative energy. And I'm actually really happy that I have these pieces because they're already, all they require is for me to do the work on them. They're not really in a conceptual stage where I have to think about them that much. So that's all I wanted to check in with you about today in the studio. And hi everybody. It is Wednesday morning and I am going to be heading out and going to some galleries. So I will show you our little outing. I'm going with my friend Dorothy. She's an artist and kind of a mentor to me. And yeah, I'll take you along with us.